came out once again every single month on the 10th this month, CPI for the United States, which is consumer price index. It's consumer inflation. It's what you and I have to pay everywhere. It came in at 3.2%, which is a little bit hotter, a little bit higher. Let's go to the HTML one. Came in at 3.2, which is 0.2% higher than last month, the first time in 13 months that inflation has ticked up. Honestly, very, very shocked that it took this long. Name one thing that goes straight up or straight down in the economy. One thing that does not have any kind of pullbacks or any breaths. It's the breath of a market. You never expect things to just shoot straight up and then tank straight back down, right? It's not how this works. But it was how this was working for inflation. If you less food and energy, which is the more important one for the Fed, it is still sitting pretty strong at 4.7%, right? Because they view food and energy as very volatile, which it is very volatile. Energy prices, you've all seen oil, you've seen at the pump. That stuff shoots up for a month, shoots right back down for a month. So they don't like to pay too much attention to it if they can avoid it. Tomorrow, we have the release of the producer price index, which is the same exact thing, but for companies, for producers. So just be aware. What does this mean for us as traders here today? It means that we are going to be experiencing a good level of volatility. Point and case right here. I don't know if that was the right way to say it, but you could see Ethereum was in a very clear trend. We had an exact setup for our pattern. Ethereum would have been a perfect short today. The data came out, the market liked it, and it went up. Where you put your stop loss. Understand that you could gap up and down based off of news that comes out. The information though, it's like nothing worth sifting through aggressively. We still see transportation services are still pretty hot. It's housing. Shelter was the reason why they contributed. Because shelter is a pretty high weight here, so shelter started going up, I guess, is what they were saying caused this. So let's go see if we can find any patterns to trade. Everything's going to have a fairly similar scenario here. The thing I'm worried about is a complete change in direction. And what's good, Johnny? What's good, Dream? Thank you for being here. I appreciate you guys. Appreciate both you guys for being here even before I had gone live. So we'll just skim through this really quickly. Then we're going to go look at Aptos. Ooh, Matic had a strong push up here. Solana. Nope. XRP. Aptos. Arbitrum looks pretty interesting. I think we might short Binance. That looks pretty clean. The thing I'm concerned about is that the good morning bro, good morning boss. Look at how volatile Quant was. The thing I'm concerned about with any of this trading right now is that this is a complete change in direction, and so it might negate any of the patterns that we might see. But BNB looked like it could be a solid short. Let's look on a little bit of a longer time scale. We'll go 15 minutes and see if we can mute out any of the nonsense here. It's just BNB is in like a systematic march up, so I don't even know if I would want to short this thing. Look at it's in its channel, right? The channel that we had drawn a while ago. If it gets rejected here, that's something, but it's showing a little bit of support on this channel, so things to pay attention to. 3 hours before I completely asleep. Goddamn, Dream. Goddamn. That's aggressive. I do not envy you with the overnight positions. That thing sucks your soul dry. That thing demolishes you. They are not... Have you ever seen those memes? Have you ever seen those memes? It's like... Let me see if I can find it. Nah, man, night shift's pretty easy. Derek, age 24. That's really what you feel like. I was sleeping like... This is the one I was thinking about. I was sleeping like 10 hours a night, 8 to 10 hours a night, but it was during the day. Oh my god. I was sleeping like 8 to 10 hours every single day doing these night shifts, and I literally could not feel awake. This was me constantly. No, you just got to get used to it. Josh was up doing class for half the night. Yeah, Josh just doesn't sleep. Josh is going to be, he's wild. B&B needs to cook. Yeah. It doesn't. Yeah, I agree. B&B needs to make some moves, all right? Decide which direction you're going to go, god damn it. It's interesting, if you remove the VWAP, it does look pretty like we're coming straight up to the spot on these lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times potentially getting bounced off of here. I want to look at Aptos for a second, because Aptos was the one that we had the partnership news about, where Aptos was partnering with Microsoft, and then I called out the short. I didn't get in it, but some of you guys made some decent money as we came directly down to the line that I had drawn. We kind of sliced right through this one, but then we hovered around it for quite some time. So again, these lines are not totally arbitrary, even though on the stream I was literally saying I'm going off of my gut feeling on this. When you stare at a chart for so long, you kind of just like see where the support and resistance is, or as I call it, the area of contention, because the both sides are contesting as to what the price should be. So buyers and sellers are arguing, hey, we should think it should be higher, we think it should be lower. It's not necessarily, because it's going to change. It's going to change, right? A support turns into resistance, a resistance turns into support, just depending on what side of the line we're on. So rather than calling them support and resistance, because right here it's resistance, right here this area was resistance, but then here we're looking for support, and then resistance, and you know, it's very confusing to me. So it's just an area of contention. We got buyers and sellers arguing about what the price of an asset should be. Damn it, Dream, you deleted your message. But just interesting to see that it lined up again exactly as we expected it to line up, right? So shout out to any of you guys. You guys who made money on that. Props to you. I ended up, what was I in? I was long Solana, and I did not end up making any money on it. I ended up getting stopped out, which is fine. We had a change in direction. So I longed here. We went up. I thought it was going to be perfect. Then we came down. I got stopped out, and then we faded into oblivion. I actually entered again here because it looked like we were going to just like yeah. The setup was pretty similar again, and I was like, I'll take the chance again, and then I got stopped out again. So it is what it is with that one. It was a spoiler from the classroom. That's right. You can spoil stuff here. I won't get mad. I don't know that today's going to be a great day. The market seems to be really appreciating the CPI news, and everything's direction kind of changed up there. So any patterns that we had, there is nothing that was like super bullish that just helped out a little bit. Everything looked like it was going to be bearish on the day, and then it changed up real quick. So unless we see Binance take a short here, it might not be a trading day. I don't think he meant this one. I think he meant Josh's classroom. Is there anything that I'm missing out, guys? Should we be paying attention to any coins? Is anything looking like it's got a solid pattern out there? I wonder what just happened to HBAR, why it decided to dump here. HBAR just put in that high. There's a solid chance, truthfully, that we see HBAR like tick back down, hit off the line again in over the next week. A 7% retracement. That looks like it's a pretty solid bet right there. I could make a strong argument that I should enter into that, but don't know that I'm going to. Not in this account. Not in this account. This account is staying specifically for these day trades, but I guess the argument is that I could enter You could be more lenient because it looks like market direction is in my favor for this one. Tokenomics were confusing, but you still had interest in those two cryptos. Oh, the classroom from... The only thing I heard people... I don't have no idea what you guys are talking about right now. No idea. You guys are confusing me. Yeah, this is... HBAR's just in a strong downtrend here. Strong downtrend. Yeah, I'm not going to enter into a BNB short. I don't think I'm going to be able to take any trades here today. This is moving too fast. I think he's talking about last night. Yeah, Dream. God damn it, Dream. Be more specific. Be more specific. There's not even a large risk to reward here on BNB. Let's check out Bitcoin on the daily. Let's zoom in a little bit here because we had a little bit of change up for Bitcoin. Delete this. There's no need to have that line there. So we're still in a decent downtrend. That pump was not really enough to bring us up and gain any support here. What I would have been looking for was for this close on the red candle here after the pump to be a lot smaller, and then today's green day to have continued up higher than these wicks. If that was what we were seeing here, I would assume that we would continue to rocket up to more local highs up here, probably to that 32,000 range. Where that didn't happen, and it looks like we're still struggling to break above or make any highs, I think we're still bearish for the time being on Bitcoin. Dream, are you talking about from yesterday? The classroom that I did on Aptos and Sui? Yeah, I want... If that's the case... Okay, alright, yes. Yeah, I like both of those projects. The tokenomics are not good right now, but I think that the tokenomics overall are good. It's just that you need time for them to play out. So the reason why I'm not interested in purchasing them right now is because until about March and May of next year, they're going to be going through a lot of dilution, a lot of inflation in the supply. Check wild for long. And so I'm just like, I'm going to patiently wait. They have a lot of good partnerships, a lot of good connections, and they seem to be pretty solid. This, you want me to long this? This is this is literally a piece of poop. This is they're putting up the flag of surrender here. They're waving the white flag here. Is this what you're talking about? You want me to long this? This is, no part of this looks like the pattern that we were drawing out. This thing is falling off a cliff. Long it, you could, okay. You could long hoping for a bounce, okay? That is absolutely something you could do. You could have done it back here as well. You could have done it back here as well. You could have done it back here as well. You could have done it here as well. Yes, eventually it will have to happen, but the direction is not in my favor in the slightest. In the slightest. I want the winds from the ocean to be at my back, behind my sails when I take my trades. This is something I would have been shorting the whole time. I do not trade bounces like that. That's not how I'd like to trade. I get cucked over and over and over again. When the direction's not in my favor, I get absolutely decimated in the market. Could you short and try and time it good? Yeah, 100% you could. But I would much rather try and time it on the other side. Wait for it to do that little bit of a bounce, scoop, and then look for a shorting opportunity here while the market is in my favor. Direction is in my favor, right? I'm not a fan of trading like that. That's not how I always just get screwed. I always get screwed, Johnny. If you're good at trading like that, go do it. That's Josh's strategy. Josh is good at that. Josh knows how to time in and out of those things pretty well. He knows how far extended is the appropriate amount of extension, right? It's too much. It's like, yeah, it's just not how I trade. But that's why he's got that signals thing. I don't know. Because you can just continue to make the same argument that it's like, oh, this is the perfect long opportunity, and then you just keep getting decimated. I trade one pattern and one pattern only. I am a one-trick pony. When it comes to day trading, I am a one-trick pony. And when I stray from that trick, I end up landing on my head. I know that. After 5 years, I am fully aware of that. So, I just stick to it. And things do not look like I'm going to be taking any trades today. The CPI changed the direction of the market, and I could trade with the new direction here, but again, I literally just said that I land on my head every time I try and change stuff up. Binance, let's see if BNB has any difference here. No, okay. Josh just keeps making me insecure. No. Don't be insecure about it. Literally, if you're actually like trying to learn to trade, you need to absorb a bunch of different trading styles and find which one resonates with you the most, because there's an infinite amount of ways that you can do it, and you need to adapt and pull from multiple different sources to create your own, to curate your own trading strategy. So find whichever resources that you think you resonate with, that you can like learn the most about, and then adapt it into a strategy that you makes sense to you. That's what I did with this. This is a strategy that I made up. I'm sure there's other people doing it as well, but I haven't seen other people doing this. This is something that I made up based off of my experience trading, what works best with me, right? And I pulled from literally dozens of different trading styles to try and find this one. And yeah, this is the one that I like. Okay, if you've been... Oh, wait, I had one more thing I had to say. There's no reason to feel insecure about not knowing the things that we're talking about at all. Have you ever met, this is the go-to that I use every single time because it's the funniest and it makes the most sense. Have you ever met a baby who knew how to shingle a house? Have you ever met a baby that knew how to plunge a toilet? No. Because nobody ever knows how to do anything when you're born. Everything is something you have to learn. So if you just haven't learned it yet, there's literally zero reason for being embarrassed or ashamed for not knowing something. If you just haven't gotten around to learn it yet, it just like everyone has to go through it. There's nobody who ever just inherently knows something at all, unless you're a savant, and savants are only good at music, you know? So you got to go through the learning process, and everyone goes through it. So it just is what it is. Sounds like a Jim Rohn quote. Great stuff. I still don't know what a long is. Is it betting it will go up or a longer short? Oh, let's go. We'll do the super simple stuff here, right then. All right. See, I just forgot that it was like it's second nature at a certain point. So we'll go through some of the basic things. I don't think we'll be taking any trades here, so we'll continue on. Let me get my face going here. Wait, I gotta make everything look nice now. I got a scoop. Okay. When investing at all, trading, these are specific to trading. We'll separate them so that there's no confusion. A long is betting that something's going to go up. A short is betting that something's going to go down. So if you're longing something, you are buying that crypto or that stock and hoping to sell it for a higher price to someone else later. Okay? So you're going to buy something at $1 and hope that it goes to $2. That's a long. A short is you are borrowing shares from someone else. You're borrowing a little bit of Bitcoin from someone else. You are selling it on the open market, and then you're hoping the price goes down so that you can buy it back at a lower price and then give it back to that other person that you borrowed it from. And then you get to keep that difference in the price going down, right? Because you borrowed Bitcoin at 30,000, it went down, you sold it at 30,000, it went down to 29,000, you buy it back at 29,000, and then you go give that one Bitcoin back to the person that you borrowed it from, and you keep that $1,000 that you just made. So shorting it, you're making money when it goes down. Longing it, you make money when it goes up. You can borrow for longs too, right? Yeah, that's leverage. If you borrow for a long, that means you're leveraging. So most trading platforms, especially in crypto, you can leverage. Usually in the stock market, they'll give you like 75% of what you give them. So if you give them $100, they'll give you $75 to trade with as well. That's usually the extent to leverage trading in the stock market. Sometimes you can get up to like 5x, but then in crypto, you can get up to like 1,000x I've seen. So you give someone $1 and they'll give you $1,000 to trade with. And you get decimated really, really quickly because it's debt. That's debt. Leverage trading is debt. You're taking on debt to trade with. Hopefully it goes in your favor, but if it doesn't, you ruin your account really, really quickly because you're playing with debt. Indicators. There's an obscene amount of indicators out there. An obscene amount of indicators. You can go like, that's just what they recommend. That's just what they show you. There's literally like, this is why I stick to my strategy and I try not to add too many indicators. I try and stay true to what I know. Because look at this, okay? Let me show you. What the hell is this? There's a trading indicator based off of the phases of the moon. What the hell? You can trade off of literally anything. You can make a trading indicator based off of anything that you could ever possibly imagine because to some extent, this is gambling. Well, this is gambling. We're gambling on stuff. We're trying to have little indicators to show us like statistical probabilities that will be in our favor, right? This is gambling. So they make up trading indicators for literally anything. And you can have an entire trading platform off of something like the phases of the moon. And you can look for certain setups based off of phases of the moon and then potentially make money if you have a solid strategy that makes sense to you. Wendy has an astrology trader. Yeah. See? Exactly. So if you got some astrology bitches out there, you're super, super into the phases of the moon and Aquarius versus Taurus and whatever the hell it is, it makes sense to you. You make money, then all the power to you. Do it. The VWAP strategy paired with the RSI is what makes sense to me. And so that's what I like to trade. And for Josh likes to trade. See, this could have been a good trade if you timed it right, but I have no idea why I should be selling right there, right? At one point, say I had longed it here, okay? I long because it looks too overextended and it goes up 1% and I make my money, right? How do I know to sell it right here? What is telling me to sell it here? That doesn't make sense to me. I can't wrap my head around that. And so I always end up losing when I do this kind of a trading strategy, right? Josh has his signals. He uses that signals platform to tell him, hey, it's overextended enough. You should go long and buy it and like do reverse of what the market is doing. and it works for him. So all the power to him. Keep doing it. Yeah, leverage can destroy you. VWAP stands for something. Yes. Was it you saying long soul? Huh? Long soul. VWAP stands for volume weighted average price. Here. Volume weighted average price. Definition and calculation. So you have things like moving averages, okay? All of you guys have likely seen moving averages before. It's those lines that everyone puts on a chart. You get a moving average is literally just the average of the price over an extended period of time. So right now, I have the 50 moving average on. So what they do is they take 50 candlesticks and they average the price out, the last 50 candlesticks, and they average the price out and they make one data point. And then the combination of those data points turns into a smoothed line that looks like the price. And some of these lines will act as, for periods of time, will act as support or resistance. Okay? So right here, boom, support, boom, support, boom, support. So if you had a trading strategy, you could use lines like this to find support and resistance. This is probably the most common thing that you'll see out there in the market, right? Is just having lines on a chart. I like an entire ribbon. I use an entire ribbon, which kind of gets chaotic looking, but I can blur out the other lines when I'm not paying attention to them. So I look for, right, we found resistance here, okay? The problem with just using these ribbons is that some candles are worth more than others. Sometimes when you have a candlestick that is doing nothing, okay, these candles right here, these, in my opinion, and in most people's opinion, are not as valuable. The data within these candlesticks are not as valuable as the data within these candlesticks. These should have more of an impact on these lines than these candles because there's more volume behind them. There's more emphasis on the price action, all right? Glenn says also consider fundamental analysis. 100%, 100%. That's more for investing though. We're specifically just talking about trading right here, and trading with fundamentals has a little bit less impact on it because it's such small price actions, but that's why we're not going to take any trades today because the fundamentals of the entire market shifted today with the CPI report. But that's why my list, I only like to trade these because I think these are fundamentally sound projects over here and they have a lot of volume. Now, back to the volume weighted average price. So because I think that volume should be taken into consideration with the formula for creating those lines, I like to use the volume weighted average price of an asset as part of my trading strategy, right? So it appears as a single line on an intraday chart. This is only for intraday trading. It looks very similar to moving average, but smoother. VWAP represents a view of price action throughout a single day's trading session. So it's like the accumulation of price action throughout that day. And I just find it very useful. I learned about the VWAP from institutional traders. Someone that I had a connection with who was like traded for institutions, day traded using institutional money, was explaining to me the significance of a VWAP years ago when I first started paying attention. And he said that institutions will use VWAPs when they're making decisions in the market because there's likely going to be the real reason here is that around this middle VWAP here, around this blue line, okay, there's going to be more volume. There's going to be more liquidity, so they can enter and exit positions easier when it's closer to this middle line. That's specific for the stock market, but it goes into crypto as well, now that institutions are coming into crypto, right? So the VWAP's going to become more and more important as more institutions come in, because that's what they use. So around the middle VWAP, you'll find that it spends a lot of time because that's when they enter and exit their positions. I'm looking for a segment, and this one didn't work out, and that's fine because the pattern was still pretty nice. When I'm looking to trade, I'm looking for a market where we have clear direction and we continue to just bounce off of the VWAP. Yeah, that's it. Let's see, what were you guys talking about? I was memorizing candles, and Gravestone Doji follows an uptrend. What if it's after a downtrend? Yeah, I don't care so much about candle structure. I spent a time researching candle structure, and then at some point, like, I don't know any of the names. And thank you, Glenn. Thank you. Appreciate it. I don't know any of the names for these candle things except for a Doja Cat candle, because the Doja Cat candles show up all the time, right? Like, this is a hammer or something, and it means something or another. You can... I gotta say this correctly, and then I'm gonna go because my lip's starting to hurt again. The candlesticks are representations of a battle happening in the investing world, okay? So I know it's going to sound funny, but bear with me here for a minute. The candlesticks are representations of a battle taking place. A battle between the buyers and the sellers. The sellers want the thing to go down further. The buyers want the thing to go up. And so all a candle is a visual representation of a battlefield. So with that in mind, when we look at specific candles, you can see that here on this one candle, okay, let me get a drawing tool. On this candle, it opened up here and then immediately went down. Sellers were winning because sellers had the momentum from the previous couple candles, and we continued to go down, and then buyers were like, no, there's a support line here. All the buyers are paying attention to that support line. Let's step up to the plate and fill all of our buy orders, which caused it to immediately rocket back up because a bunch of buyers stepped up to the plate. They had their turn with the arrows, and it's their turn to fight back, right? And so the price action shot right back up. And it's interesting, okay, when there's a combination of candles like this, where you get one candle that is very full like that, and the second candle, the body of the second candle encompasses the entire body of the previous candle. That is a change in momentum. That is buyers stepping up to the plate. See how the red candle kind of fits perfectly inside of the green candle here? That is momentum shifting back. And paired with this long wick at an area of support tells us that buyers are going to have their time in the sun. And that's exactly what happened. So hopefully that made sense to you guys. Hopefully that made some sense. What I look for is that type of candle action at the VWAP, and then I enter into a trade. So you can see it right here. That exact battle that we just talked about happening here. At the VWAP, an area of support, sellers tried to get momentum, buyers stepped up to the plate, the next candle was larger than the one before it, and then we took off. Down here you get a bunch of Doja Cat candles. Doja Cat candles often happen at spots where change in direction is going to happen, because a lot of volume happens in a small amount of area. They're battling. Okay. Did you make a trade? Had a meeting to attend? No. There's nothing that I want to be trading. I was wondering how dumb I would look not knowing the candles. No, like I said, nobody ever knows the candles when they start. CRV. Well, Craven House Capital, what the hell? Alright, this is a sheet. Well, what just happened? That is excessive. That is a super, super excessive candle. How quickly is that? What news just broke out? 6%, so not as crazy as before. So not as crazy as Aptos yesterday. CRV crypto. Curve. Got to go over to, where is it? Crypto Panic. I got to organize those better. Yes, I am on the minute. There's nothing there. You want me to go to the daily? No, because we got to be on the minute. It's a little bit of a spike, yeah, if you wanted to trade it. This is more of a breakout style trade, which is not something that I usually do pretty well with, but it just bounced off the VWAP. We're cruising along. For a breakout specifically, I'd be waiting to see if we could break above the previous highs, and then you enter for a quick scalp, understanding that, like, you gotta go, and as soon as you see momentum shifting, as soon as you see the candles not being full body green candles like that, as soon as they get wicks, you dump right out of it. But I don't usually have super good success with these. I do if I can pay attention enough, but it could just be a whale, yeah. It could definitely just be a whale buying, causing a bunch of excitement in the market. I don't know. Goku, are you gonna trade it? Are you hopping in curve right now? It doesn't look like anything super exciting. That line's not straight. That's all right. See how you got one area where we got resistance, another with resistance, but we had a strong wick, but within the same hour candle, we came straight back down. Looking at it. Yeah. If you can time it good, the volatility is there to make some money, but the setup doesn't look strong. I would have liked to see that continue straight away. I don't know. It's not, again, we get back to the same thing. It's not my trading strategy. It doesn't fit my criteria for anything. And we'll look again real quick to see if anything is having that setup, but it doesn't look like today is going to be a trading day. Ethereum, no. Bitcoin, no. Nope. Again, this is because the CPI report came out and market direction shifted. HBAR, no. XRP, no. Although XRP, you could make the argument, but I'm not going to. That one is, Aptos is completely disrespecting the VWAP today. Arbitrum, nah. BNB had too strong of a thing. It looks like, again, I could make the argument, but I want to go make content, and I got a pee, so we're not going to make the argument. Aave is probably due for a short. That is an aggressive spike. Quant, you can make the argument with Quant. You definitely could. But how much are you... It just has been spiking randomly. You'd be risking a decent amount. Or there's not a lot of rewards on the table with it. Regardless, do you trade in SHIB? No, I do not, Glenn. The reason is quite simple. And it actually circles back to what you had said initially, to pay attention to the fundamentals. Shiba Inu, fundamentally, is a shitcoin. It's a meme coin. It's got no place in my portfolio, thus I do not want to trade it. I only like trading things that I wouldn't mind holding for an extended period of time. That stems from when I was trading in the stock market, where if I made a poor prediction on a long trade, right? Remember, if I buy it expecting it to go up a long, if I made a poor entry, then my ego wouldn't let me sell it, so I only liked trading things that I wouldn't mind holding for the long term anyways, and I'm just carrying that over into this. It's very different because I trade with leverage here, and I'm not going to hold on to a leveraged position if it's going against me, but I do not like trading Shiba Inu or Pepe or any coins that I don't like. Your time is your most valuable asset. Hopefully you found this worth investing into. I will see you guys hopefully tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be interesting because I got to go do house renovations with my girlfriend. hopefully she doesn't mind waiting till like 10 o'clock to leave, and I can go live and trade a little bit with you guys, because we only took like 2 or 3 trades this week, and I don't know that any of them went well. I'll see you tomorrow.